F-22 Raptor, December 2005. Langley Air Force Base. The F-22 Raptor becomes operational. First stealth air superiority fighter in history, invisible to radar. Supercruises without afterburner. Costs $150 million per jet, only a 187 built. Congress kills production in 2011. The Cold War demanded total air dominance. Soviet fighters caught up fast. MiG-29s, Su-27s matched American performance. Equality wasn't acceptable. Stealth worked on bombers. The Air Force wanted it for fighters. Radar signature equals a steel marble. 8 sensors feed 1 display. 2 Pratt & Whitney engines, 35,000 pounds thrust each. Thrust vectoring nozzles turn impossibly tight. Supercruise at Mach 1.8. Maximum speed Mach 2.5. Climbs 62,000 feet per minute. Redfleck 2006, F-22s face F-15s, Sonixian V-18s. Final score, 144 kills, 0 losses. Enemy pilots never see it coming. Export banned forever. China builds J-20, Russia builds Su-57. Neither matches the Raptor. 20 years later, still untouchable. Too expensive to mass produce, too advanced to export, too dominant to retire. Perfection costs everything. Dominance is worth it. F-35 Lightning, 3 fighters, 1 airframe. The F-35 Lightning II dead, F-35A for the Air Force, F-35B for the Marines, F-35C for the Navy, 3 variants from 1 design. Largest military program in history. $1.7 trillion over its lifetime. The most expensive weapon system ever created. By 2015, American fighters were aging. F-16s flew for decades. F-A-18s needed replacing. The Pentagon wanted 1 jet to replace them all. Joint Strike Fighter competition begins 2001. Lockheed beats Boeing. First flight, December 2006. The helmet costs $400,000. 6 cameras cover the aircraft. Pilots see through the jet. Look down, see the ground below. Stealth coating hides it from radar. Sensor fusion connects everything. Radar, infrared, electronic warfare. 1 picture on 1 screen, F-35B hovers. Lift fan behind the cockpit. Rotating rear nozzle. Lands vertically like a Harrier. From troubled program to success story. Over 1,000 delivered. 18 countries fly it. Production continues until 2040, not just a fighter, a quarterback. Coordinates drones, missiles, ships, ground forces. The F-35 defines the future. F-16 fighting Falcon, January 1976, Edwards Air Force Base. The YF-16 prototype takes flight, designed as a cheap, lightweight fighter. Budget back up to the F-15. Nobody expects it to dominate. Vietnam taught harsh lessons. Heavy fighters couldn't dogfight. Complexity killed reliability. The fighter mafia pushed for simplicity. Colonel John Boyd championed energy maneuverability theory. Small and agile beats big and complex. Fly-by-wire controls replace mechanical cables. Computers stabilize the jet. The F-16 is aerodynamically unstable on purpose. Side stick controller on the right. Pilot reclines at 30 degrees. Reduces blackouts during 11G turns. Frameless bubble canopy. 360-degree visibility. Pilots see everything. 1 Pratt & Whitney engine. 29,000 pounds thrust with afterburner. 9 hard points carry missiles, bombs, fuel tanks. Multi-role capability becomes reality. First export. Belgium, 1975. Then Norway, Denmark, Netherlands. Eventually 25 countries buy in. Israel destroys Iraqi nuclear reactor, 1981. Pakistan shoots down Soviet fighters. Desert Storm F-16s fly more missions than any jet. Couple years later, still in production. 4,600 built. 25 countries fly it. The cheap backup became the workhorse. Good enough beats perfect. The F-16 won everywhere forever. F-15 Eagle 104. Air-to-air kills, 0 losses in combat. The F-15 Eagle remains undefeated. Israeli pilots, Saudi pilots, American pilots, 5 decades. Not 1 lost in dogfights. Vietnam exposed fighter weaknesses. American jets couldn't dogfight MiGs. Kill ratios dropped. Intelligence reports the MiG-25 Foxbat, Mach 3 capable. America needs an answer. FX program launches 1965. Requirements: speed, maneuverability, range. No compromises. McDonnell Douglas wins. First flight, July 1972. Twin engines. 65,000-foot ceiling. Mach 2.5 top speed. Design brief said, not a pound for air to ground. just air superiority, nothing else. 2 Pratt & Whitney F100 turbofans, 25,000 pounds thrust each with afterburner. Thrust-to-weight ratio exceeds 1.1. F-15 accelerates straight up. APG-63 radar locks targets 100 miles away. Tracks multiple enemies simultaneously. Israel receives F-15s in 1976. First kill, Syrian MiG-21, June 1979. 1982, 40 Syrian jets downed. 0 Israeli losses. 1983, Israeli F-15 collides mid-air. Entire right wing shears off. Pilot lands safely. Jet flew on one wing. 1988, F-15E Strike Eagle debuts. Adds ground attack capability. F-15EX enters service 2021. New engines, radar, weapons. 50 years old. Still evolving. Undefeated. Unmatched. Unstoppable. FA-18 Super Hornet. The catapult fires. 3 seconds later, the FA-18 is airborne. Carrier aviation demands perfection. The Super Hornet delivers. Every time, twin engines for safety. Twin tails for control. The Navy's workhorse. By 2000, the Navy faces crisis. F-14 Tomcats aging. A-6 intruders retired. A-6B prowlers need replacement. 3 missions. 3 aircraft. Budget can't support it. The FA-18 Hornet served since 1983. Fighter and attack roles. Too small. Boeing redesigns everything. Larger wings, more fuel, stronger engines. Super Hornet born, 25% larger than Legacy Hornet. 33% more range. 11 weapons hardpoints, 2 F-4F-14 engines. 22,000 pounds thrust each. More power, better efficiency. Internal fuel, 14,400 pounds. Combat radius, 450 nautical miles. Lands at 145 mph. Tailhook catches third wire. Full stop in seconds. APG-79 radar tracks multiple targets. Jams enemy radars simultaneously. Carries AMRAAMs, HARM missiles, JDAMs, harpoons, everything. EA-18G Growler handles electronic attack. Replaces EA-6B Prowler completely. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya. Super Hornet fights everywhere. Over 600 built. Serves until 2040. Jack of all trades that mastered them all. Navy calls, Hornet answers. F-14 Tomcat. 1986. Top Gun hits theaters. The F-14 Tomcat becomes legendary worldwide. Swing wings. Phoenix missiles. 2-man crew. Most recognizable fighter ever built. Iran still flies them 50 years later. America retired them in 2006. 1960s, Soviet bombers threaten carrier groups. Launch cruise missiles from 400 miles away. Navy needs long-range defender. Intercept before they launch. Grumman wins VFX program 1968. First flight, December 1970. Variable sweep wings. 20 degrees to 68 degrees. Mach 34 top speed. Wings forward for carrier landings. Wings back for high-speed intercepts. AIM-54 Phoenix missile. 100-mile range. Mach 5 speed. 6 mounted simultaneously. AWG-9 radar tracks 24 targets. Engages 6 at once. Radar intercept officer sits behind pilot. Manages weapons and sensors. 2 brains working. Iran receives 79 before 1979 revolution. Shah falls. America cuts support completely. Iran-Iraq war. Tomcats claim 160 kills. No spare parts for decades. Iran cannibalizes jets. Reverse engineers parts. Somehow keeps them flying. September 2006. U.S. retires the Tomcat. Pentagon shreds all retired aircraft. Destroys every spare part. Ensures Iran gets nothing new. Iran still flies them. Still patrols. Tomcat refuses to die. Retired in America. Legendary everywhere. Fighter that time cannot kill. P-51 Mustang. March 1944. American bombers fly deep into Germany. P-51 Mustangs escort them to Berlin. Luftwaffe can't stop them. Mustang changed everything. 37 miles per hour. Went 500-mile range. Fighter that won the air war. 1942. Daylight bombing fails. B-17s fly without escorts. German fighters slaughter them. P-38s and P-47s escort to border. Turn back. Not enough fuel. Bombers face enemy territory alone. Losses hit 20% per mission. Britain needs fighters fast. Contacts North American Aviation. Build something in 120 days. Edgar Schmood designs Mustang. 117 days from contract to prototype. October 1940 first flight. Problem? Allison engine weak above 15,000 feet. Germans operate at 25,000 feet. Britain installs Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. Same engine powering Spitfires, October 1942, Merlin Mustang flies. Performance explodes. 37 mph top speed. 41,900-foot ceiling. Add drop tanks. In 500-mile range achieved, March 6, 1944. P-51's escort bombers to Berlin. All way there, back German pilots face impossible odds. American fighters everywhere. Luftwaffe's back breaks. P-51 pilots claim 5,000 kills. Tu-81 become aces. Mustangs strafe ground targets. Trains, trucks, airfields destroyed. Germans can't hide Korea 1950. Mustang fights again. 55 countries operate them eventually. Piston engine perfection. Made strategic bombing possible. Mustang didn't fight war, won it. F-4 Phantom ugly, brutish, powerful. The F-4 Phantom II engineers joke. Proof that with enough thrust, bricks fly, designed without gun. Missiles made dogfighting obsolete. Vietnam proved them wrong. Navy wants fleet defender. Long range. Heavy missiles. Intercept Soviet bombers at McDonnell. Douglas proposes F-4H-1. 2 engines. 2 crew, missiles only. May 1958 first flight. Navy loves it. Air Force adopts Navy fighter. Unprecedented. Defense Secretary McNamara pushes joint procurement. 1 fighter for all services. 2 General Electric J-79 turbojets. 1,700 pounds thrust each. Combined, 35,800 pounds Mach 223 top speed. Sets 15 world records. Speed, altitude, time to climb, 18,000 pounds maximum ordnance. 9 external hardpoints. More than most bombers. Vietnam changes everything. Missiles fail constantly. Rules require visual identification. F-4s, dogfight MiG-17s, MiG-21s, close range. Turning fights. No gun crews jury-rig gun pods. Su-23 20mm cannon. Phantom finally shoots bullets. F-4E adds internal M61 Vulcan. 640 rounds. Lesson learned. Israel flies Phantoms. Claims 100 kills. 0 air combat losses. F-4G. Wild Weasel hunts radar sites. Fires anti-radiation missiles. Dangerous work. The countries operate Phantoms. 595 built total. Production 1958 to 1981. Iran, Turkey, South Korea still fly them. 65 years later. U.S. retires last 2016. Era ends not elegant. Not beautiful. Effective. Brute force works. Sky doesn't care how you look.